Hello, my name is Laxon Muntali. In this video, I'm going to talk about data types and how you can easily manipulate them in that. For those of you guys who don't know what a data type is, a data type is an attribute of data which tells the compiler or interpreter how the program intends to use the data. So the simple definition that I can give you is a data type is a classification of data. So this helps the computer to know how to treat a specific uh, data that you have given it. Without wasting much of your time, let's just declare our main function so that I can show you different types of data types and how you can easily manipulate them. So I will start with numbers. So numbers comes with two different data types. There's int, which you can declare using the int keyword. So you start with the keyword and the name of the variable. You can say maybe num1 or something like that. Then we can assign now a value, which is 10. So for those of you guys who don't know what integers are non-fractional numbers. So they don't have a decimal. Then there's another type that's under numbers, which is a double. So double, it's pretty much the same thing as floats from other languages. So don't get confused. There's only double and integer in that. So anything that's dealing with a fraction is a double in that. So there's double. So you declare a double. You declare a variable with a double data type using a double keyword. So in this case, it will be double. And I'm gonna name this variable num2. Then I can easily now assign a value of a fraction like this, 20.5. Okay, so now that we know how to declare these two data types, I, let me try to show you some of the amazing things that you can use to manipulate these two data types. So for example, let's just say maybe we want to find out whether num1 has a value that's an even number. So what we can do is, and for us to find out, we have to make sure that we print to our screen so that we can see the results. So we can just say print num1. So this function is the function that we use to print something on the screen. So if you just hover on top of it, it can even give you like a simple description what the function does. You know, like in this case, actually, when you just hover on top, you can see the description here. So here it says print a string representation of the object to the console. So whatever that we pass in here, it's going to be printed on the console. So in this case, we're trying to find out whether num1 is an even or it's not. So what we're supposed to do that, we can just add a full stop in front of the variable. Then you'll see that there will be a number of things that will be showing. So these are some of the things that I can say you'll be using to manipulate the data type or to manipulate the value, the value of the variable. So in this case, we're trying to find whether this num1 is an even number or it's not. So what you're supposed to do, just full stop. You say even is even is even. So like this. So this is one of the ways that we can use to manipulate the value of num1. So if we run this program, then let me just try to drag this so that you guys can see. So here we are asking whether the value that has been assigned to this variable is an even number. And for those of you guys who don't know what an even number is a number that's divisible by 2 and it doesn't leave any remainder. So in this case, 10 is divisible by 2, and if you check, there's no remainder. There's nothing, like there's zero remainder. So that's the reason why it's saying that it's an even number. But if we check if it's an odd number, it's gonna say it's false because this number is an even number. It's not an odd number. But if we put 9 here and we run this, it's going to tell you that it's an even number. It's going to tell you that it's an odd number, sorry. So that's how it is. So it's pretty much the same with other data types. This is how you can easily manipulate these data types. You can also do the same thing with double. So you just put num2. This is a double. So num2, then we can maybe like check it like, is it a negative number or something like that? When you run it, it's going to tell you that it's not a negative number. But if we add the negative to this decimal number, uh, it's going to tell you that it's a negative. So this is one of the ways that you guys you'll be using to pretty much manipulate and add the logic to this data that you'll be collecting from the user or from the database. So there are other data types that you guys you'll be also using. There is a string. So this is how you declare a string. So you start with the keyword string, and you have to be careful on how you are supposed to on how you declare a string. A string starts with the capital, with the uppercase S, and like other data types, that just start with a lowercase later. So here, string, you start with the keyword string, then the name of the string, or then the name of the variable, sorry, which is okay. I'm gonna use my string. So my string. Then I'm gonna assign. I can say this is a string. Then at the end, don't forget the semicolon. Then the other thing that you guys have to know is that you can also declare a string with single quotes. So you start with the keyword again, string. I can say this is my string. I'm gonna name it. This is my string. So you can just use single quotes, and I'm gonna add this is also a string. So like this. So you can declare a string using the double quotes, or you can declare a string using single quotes. And when it comes to manipulation of this data type, it's pretty much the same thing. Let's just say maybe we want to find out how many characters are in this string. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to just first call the variable, then you use the full stop operator, and after that you have different types of methods that you can utilize. So in this case, we're trying to find out the length or how many characters are in this string. So which is what we're supposed to do, just add the full stop there like we have done right now. Then you just type length. When you run this, it's going to tell you that there are 16 characters. And if let's try to delete everything, then we just remain with T so that we see that we only have one character. If we run this again, let me try to run this again. It will tell you that there's only one character in this string, of which there is only one character. And the other thing that you guys have to know is that everything inside the string is treated as a character, even a space. So if I add space and I run this, it's going to tell you that there are two characters in this string, including the space. So that's how it is. Then there are other method that you can you can also use on strings. You can check whether the string is empty or it's not empty. So in this case, I can say like is empty. So this is one of the method I can say that you guys can use on string. So this is another way on how you can manipulate this data type. So if you run this, it's going to tell you that this string is not empty by giving you false as a result. So if we delete everything inside the string, then we just leave the two double quotes and run this, it's going to tell you that it is empty. So that's how it is. So without wasting much of your time on this, let me also show you how you can declare another data type, which is a list. So there's another way that you can let me not delete those things. Let me just bring them back so that you guys can easily copy them. Okay, yeah. So just delete this. Yeah. So Another data type that you guys will be using is a list. So this is how you declare a variable with the list data type. So list and the name of the variable, I can say maybe my list. Okay, then we can assign a list here. So if you just hover on top of the keyword list, it's going to tell you what a list is all about. A list is an indexed collection of objects with a length. So subclasses of this class implements different kinds of lists. The most common, blah, blah, blah. You can read more about this data type just by hovering on top of it, just like that. For now, I would say that you have to understand that the list is just a collection of items. So these items, you put them inside a square bracket, sorry, like this. So inside here, I can just declare different types of items. I can just say maybe like apple, which is a string. And I can also declare pineapple, which is also a string. And I can also add a number 45, which is an integer, and add a double 45 or 40.5 like this. So the reason why I can do this where I add different types of data types inside this list is because if you just hover on top of the variable, you notice that it says it's a list, then there's two, I can say like two brackets around it that says dynamic. So the reason why it's saying it's dynamic, it's because I can put whatever items of whatever data type that I can put inside here and it will not complain. But the moment I tell it that this list is of a data type of string like this, it will complain. As you can see here, it will give you some red line on the value that are not supposed to be part of this list. When you just hover on top of that value to say the element type int can't be assigned to the list type string. So this list type is a string, and this is how you do it. You declare it by starting with a keyword, of course, list. Then you use these two arrow brackets. I don't know what the name, but I think they're called arrow brackets. Then inside, you just put the data type that you want to add to the list. But if you don't want to do that, you just want it to be dynamic or to accommodate different data types, you just leave it the way it was, which is list, then the name of the variable, and everything inside here. And like other data types, you can easily manipulate this data type just by using the full stop. I don't know the name of that. That's why I'm calling it the full stop. So you use the full stop. Then once you just enter the full stop, you're gonna see different types of methods that you can use to pretty much manipulate this data type. Actually, you can do some operation. You can just maybe like check the length of the list. So what the length uh, uh, what the length do is that it checks how many items are in the list. So if you just run this, you'll notice that it will give you the number of items. And if you want, you can count them. So there's apple, which is 1, there's pineapple, which is 2, there's 45, which is 3, and there's 40.5, which is 4. And that's the reason why it's telling you that there are 4 items in the list. You can also check whether the list is empty like you did earlier with strings. So string, when you run this, it's pretty much the same thing. Is to tell you that this list is not empty. The reason why it's not telling you, the reason why it's telling you that this list is not empty is because there are items inside. So you can also use is not empty. So this one is gonna tell you it's true because the list is not empty. Yeah, so like that. So it depends with what you want to do. These are some of the things that will help you to manipulate or control the flow of the program. So there are other data types that I would want you guys to check. There is maps, and there's Boolean. There's let me just do this so that they don't give you, yeah. So these are some of the data types that I want you guys to check and see how you can easily manipulate them. So there's map, there's boolean, and there's ruins. So these are some of the three data types that I want you guys to check and see how you can easily manipulate them. And from me, I'll say bye bye.